students, in this part we will study about the blood vessels. As we know that is in circulatory system, the heart is a pumping structure. Now, if the blood pumped by the heart will pass through the vessels, we have closed type of blood vascular system. So, blood never comes out in open space. It continues to flow within the closed vessel and the heart. So, that is now the blood vessels are, we have to study here, artery, vein and capillary. So we have to study here. Now, first of all, take artery. As we know that when left ventricle contracts, the blood is pumped into the artery. So there is high pressure in the artery. So its wall is thick, muscular layer, as well as arteries are placed deep inside the body under muscular layer to prevent from rupturing. The veins, in veins, the blood from the capillary passes into the veins, so the pressure is decreased there, as the certain part of the blood plasma gets squeezed out in the form of tissue fluid, but it will not return back. Pressure is decreased. So there is a wider lumen, there is thin muscular layer and non-elastic wall. So first of all, we draw diagram for the comparative study of artery and vein. Now, in artery, there is a thick connective tissue layer, thick muscular layer, and on the inner wall, there is just a single layer of epithelial cell that is termed as endothelium. Now here, this is the elastic layer, elastic wall, and this is the muscular layer, the middle layer. In vein, if we draw the similar structure, then it has non-elastic wall, thin layered, non-elastic wall, thin muscular layer, and a wider lumen, that is the wider passage. The wider passage. If we label it, this is the outermost layer that termed as external layer. External layer. It is also termed as tunica externa. Tunica externa, that is connective tissue layer. Connective tissue layer. Now the middle layer is middle layer, that is middle layer now middle layer is tunica media, that is muscular layer, and this is the innermost layer, the inner layer, internal layer. This is tunica interna. Interna means layer, that is endothelium. That is, it is the thin epithelial layer, so this is called endothelium. And finally, the last labeling is for the passage, that is termed as lumen. So just we see that artery has narrow lumen and vein has wider lumen. So this is artery and this is vein. Now, students, we have to, that is question is directly asked by giving the diagram, and you will have to label and answer the related question. Now we can differentiate between artery and vein. Now the question in ICSE, the question is not asked directly to write difference between, but it is given for 1 marks, and in the bracket it will be given that what will be the basis of your answer, which term should be used. So first of all, according to definition, artery, the blood vessel carrying blood away from the heart, that is, we say, that is, it carries blood from heart to different organs or different part of the body, whereas the vein brings blood from different parts of the body to the heart. Generally it carries deoxygenated blood, but there is exception, pulmonary vein, so will not include this term, but write, that is, blood vessel carrying blood from different parts to the or towards the heart. So this is about the definition. Now the second point, we can differentiate them on the basis of the structure which we see. On the basis of structure, like the first of all, it has elastic wall which is made up of connective tissue. Here structure, non-elastic wall. Second, thick muscular layer. Now since blood flows under high pressure in it, so its wall is thick muscular layer, and here thin muscular layer. Now we actually see here, that is, there is very little pressure inside the veins, so the muscular layer is thin. Next, narrow lumen. Actually it has narrow passage and elastic wall, so when the blood pressure is exerted during ventricular systole, then its vessel dilate, and when the blood passes ahead, it will contract. So it has narrow lumen, it has wider lumen. One more structure, no valves in it. That is, the arteries do not contain valves, because its wall itself behaves like a valve, that is, due to pressure it expands, dilate, and when pressure is decreased, it will contract. But in this case, there is semilunar valves at regular intervals. So this is about the structure on the basis of which we can differentiate between artery and vein. Now we can take the next basis for differentiation, that is the location. Third point, location. Arteries are deep seated. Generally they are deep seated under muscular layer. Now there at some places the arteries will be slightly superficially situated, one of which is radial artery, that is artery at this near the wrist part. They will be slightly superficially situated, by pressing over which we can experience the jerk, that is the radial artery. Here it is superficially situated. That is, the blood vessel which we see, observe on the surface of the body, is the vein. Now fourth point, that is about physiological action. physiological action. Now these are headings given to differentiate between the arteries and veins easily. Now physiological action, blood flows under high pressure, with jerk and spurts. That is, it does not flow smoothly, but during each ventricular systole the blood will be pushed and then the pressure will be decreased. So this will be with jerk and spurts. But here blood flows under low pressure and smoothly. This is why students, when the blood transfusion has to be made, then it is injected in the vein or it is also taken out from the vein. Now finally the last point, the function. It carries oxygenated blood to the tissues. There is an exception, that is pulmonary artery. And here it carries deoxygenated blood from tissues to the right auricle, that is the heart. But here is there also an exception, pulmonary vein. This is the blood vessel, this is the vein which carries oxygenated blood from lungs to the left auricle. So this was about the different points related to artery and veins for comparison. Now student, we see that arteries when enter into an organ, then it divides. Arteries gradually divide and decreases in diameter. Veins gradually increases in diameter by uniting the different veins or smaller blood vessels or venules from different parts of the body. So that will increase in diameter. So here we see that an artery divide and decrease in diameter. In an organ, the artery divide into arteriole. An artery divides into arteriole in the organ, where it further divides in the ultimate branch, and its ultimate branch is the capillary. Now capillary further joins to form unite. Now use further right here, that is in capillary diffusion of substances between blood and tissue fluid takes place. So the capillary bed will surround the tissues and after this function capillaries unite to form the smallest vein called venule, which further join to form vein and come out from the organ. So the question is asked, that is the name the smallest blood vessel formed by union of blood capillaries, then it is venule. Now we will further study about these points in more detail, but the next structure, which is the capillary, that is after artery vein, it is capillary. Now as we have studied, that is it is the ultimate branch, it is fine branch, it has non-elastic, non-muscular wall, that is it has no muscular layer, no muscular and connective tissue layer. It has only endothelium, that is if we draw the section of blood capillary, like this is the single layer of it, and on the surface here is the cells. So this is the endothelium. Now students, as we have studied, that is through the wall of the blood capillaries, oxygen from blood passes into the tissue fluid, from where it will be taken by the tissues or cells. From the tissue fluid, the CO2 will be diffused into the blood. So this is the two function. Further, through this one, the nutrients like glucose or carbohydrate, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, hormones from the blood diffuses into the tissue fluid, and metabolic waste from tissue fluid enters into the blood by the process of diffusion. Clear, student? Now one more thing, that is it has ability of vasoconstriction and vasodilation. That is, it's the wall of capillary can dilate or constrict. Like sometimes when you are in a hot sun, then the face becomes reddish. The reason is that due to the heat, capillary expand and more blood circulation takes place. Similarly, in a severe winter, our face becomes whitish. The reason is that the capillary contract, reducing the blood circulation in that part. Clear, student? So capillary will help us in vasoconstriction and vasodilation. It also helps in diffusion of substances between the blood and tissue. So wherever it is asked, name the blood vessel through which diffusion of substances takes place between the blood and the tissue fluid, then it will be blood capillary. Clear, student? Now, related to a structure of the vein, one question was asked in the board. Suppose there was two diagram here for the blood vessel A, and in the second part it is given like this. Now it is closed. First of all, the question was asked that identify the blood vessel. Then it was the vein. And what is the reason behind it? The reason is that it contains It contains valves, semilunar valves. Now further, next question was asked that to which direction of the diagram the heart is located. Now we know that the veins carry blood towards the heart. So you can see in this direction the blood can go, pass. But when the blood tends to return down, the valves are closed. So blood cannot pass in this direction. So the heart is located towards the top of the diagram because veins carry blood towards the heart. So this type of diagram based questions are always asked. Now students, we are going to study about the blood vessels to organs. That is, we are going to study that is which blood vessel, that is we can have three columns in it. First we write here name of the organ, then the artery which will be supplying oxygenated blood to the different organs, and then the vein that will return the blood from that organ. Now starting from the upper part, first of all, if you will study here a student, that is suppose here is the heart. Now when from the heart the aorta comes out, then first of all its first branching is coronary artery. Now from this part it divides to go upper part of the body, and when it bends downward then it is termed as dorsal aorta. That is, the aorta divides, start to branch. So the first organ we start about the heart wall itself. Now the first branch from the wall from the aorta is coronary artery. Actually, the different from blood circulation, the blood was only entering and leaving through the chambers of the heart. Its own tissue was not deriving the oxygenated blood or putting CO2 deoxygenated blood into it. So there is a separate channel through which it will receive and send the blood. And the second is the blood vessel vein is coronary vein or sinus, bringing it from its wall. Second, head region, it is carotid artery. That is, this is the branch here taking place which will go to different upper part of the body, carotid artery head, and from here it is the jugular vein that will bring deoxygenated blood from head. Third, upper arm and shoulder. It is the subclavian artery, and here is the subclavian vein. Now the fourth part is lungs wall and chest muscles. Now we see a student, that is, the lung is functioning, it is oxygenating the blood, but its tissues are not using the blood from that part. It is just like a cashier of a bank, that is handling the blood but not using it. So it has a separate branch to supply its part. Like you see, it is the intercostal artery and intercostal vein. we have studied about in between the rib cage or ribs, there are the intercostal muscles. So on the basis of that, the name is given intercostal artery, intercostal vein. Now, then come down, it is stomach and intestine. That is, collectively we can write that gut or alimentary canal. In stomach and intestine, it is mesenteric artery. Mesenteric artery. Now, student, we see here that is in general from all organs, the veins carries blood back to the heart by pouring it or forming the vena cava. But from stomach and intestine or gut or alimentary canal, the blood does not return to the vena cava directly to the heart, but it goes to the another organ, that is to the liver, for assimilation of food, detoxification of toxic substances, and so on. So there is a separate blood vessel from here, that is called hepatic portal vein. We'll study again here, hepatic portal vein, that is to liver. Now, next structure is the liver. Now, this is the only organ which receives blood through two blood vessels. One, its own artery which is bringing oxygenated blood for its own functioning, that is called hepatic artery. And second, from the stomach and intestine, that is the hepatic portal vein. Hepatic portal vein. And from the liver, its own vein will arise, that is called hepatic vein. And finally, the last structure which we will study here, that is kidney. Kidney. Although in lower part of the body also the blood vessels are going, like femoral artery, iliac artery, and so on, but we have to study up to this part only. So the kidney, it is renal artery, and from here deoxygenated blood, fresh blood will come returned back to the heart through renal vein. So these were the important blood vessels which are required to be labeled and answered. Now some questions arises, student. Now you must take care of these questions. Further, you can see the question is asked that name the blood vessel carrying maximum or minimum of different substances. So while answering these questions, you must see about the source of that material. For example, now you can see from this chart you can answer it clearly. Like first, name the blood vessel which carries maximum oxygen. Then as we know that in the lungs oxygen is taken in. So from there the blood vessel will arise to carry maximum oxygen. So blood vessel carrying maximum oxygen is the pulmonary vein, which will be from the blood circulation. Now next, the blood vessel which carries maximum glucose, amino acids after few hours of meal. Then as you know that in stomach and intestine digestion takes place. So the indigestion product of carbohydrate is glucose, for protein it is amino acid. So the hepatic portal vein carrying blood away from the stomach and intestine will carry maximum glucose, maximum protein, amino acid. Now another question. The blood vessel which carries maximum urea, many times a student write renal artery, but this is not correct, because renal artery is carrying only a small portion, because it is only a branch of artery, major artery. Actually it is the liver where urea is produced. So hepatic vein will carry maximum urea from there. And if the question is asked that name the blood vessel which carries minimum urea, then it will be renal vein, because in kidney filtration of blood takes place. So after filtration, the blood coming out of it will contain minimum of urea. Clear, student? So this type of many questions will be asked and you can easily answer it. Now we will study here about the portal vein. What is it? Portal vein. Portal vein. Now this is a general term, a student, you see, that is what is portal vein. Then the blood vessel which starts in capillary, that is where it will be formed by union of capillaries in an organ, and ends in capillary is known as portal vein. Means it starts from one organ and ends into another organ, and the best example is the hepatic portal vein. As well as there is another one that is called umbilical cord, which we will study in reproductive system. Umbilical cord. So this is the portal vein. So hepatic portal vein starts from stomach intestine and enters into the liver, where it again divides to form capillary for diffusion of substances. Clear, student? So this is about the blood vessel. Now we will study about the lymph and lymph vessel. Clear?